everyone, and welcome to our first edition of Jays Talkin, and hopefully not the last edition. I'm Matt, and Andrew, and Chris Bec, and thank you very much for joining us, Chris. First, we just want to say thank you to everybody who's joining us today, and we also want to say, on behalf of the entire Dunedin Blue Jays organization, we hope you and your families are staying safe and staying sane during this very crazy time. And we're missing baseball just as much as you guys are, so we're trying to bring a little baseball talk from our living room into your living room. And today's guest is 2018 fifth-round draft pick, catcher in the Blue Jays organization, Chris Bec. Chris, how are you doing today, sir?
Thanks for the introduction. Good to see you guys again. It's a bit rough, but we got to do what we can, to keep our community safe. And I hope everybody's, quarantined, staying safe out there, and just, hope life's good.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned it before we started recording, but we were getting into the spring training, basically kind of the middle of the spring training for you. What's it like kind of having to shut it down and basically restart?
Yeah, so, it's kind of tough because we're going unplanned, This obviously was not planned at all, so we didn't have any precautions. But it sucked, because our guys were ready. We're working hard, grinding every day in spring training. We're ready to go. But, it is what it is. Now we just got to make the most out of it and just stay as ready as we possibly can be. And, I've talked to my guys and a lot of Blue Jays, and we're all doing pretty much the same, We're making the most out of it and just grinding still. So we'll be all right.
What kind of work are you putting in? Are you able to do baseball stuff, or are you just mostly being only able to stay at home?
I'm blessed. I live in Miami, Florida, so there's quite a few pro guys here. So we work in limited spaces, So I'm blessed to have a facility that I'm available to go to that's only allowing 3 people at a time. So and they sanitize the stuff, they're spraying the stuff, everything's clean, so we're able to get our work in. Also, it's not the full amount of work that we want to get, but I'm still catching bullpens and throwing and hitting and stuff, so I think we'll all be all right.
Kind of staying away from baseball now. Everybody's kind of trying to figure out what to do during we're all staying at home. Have you picked up any new hobbies? Are you trying any new things out while you're at home?
Oh man, no, I'm just trying to keep my family safe, and my grandpa has diabetes, so I cannot take really any risks. So I'm taking as many precautions as I can, but also I understand that I need to be ready. So I am practicing as much as I can under these circumstances.
And me and Matt know it's a big thing for you, but how nice is it, even though you're away from baseball, how nice is it to be spend a little extra time with your family when probably wouldn't be able to have that time right now, especially who knows where you would have been this year?
Yeah, so it's a blessing in disguise, sort of, because I haven't spent time with my family around this time of the year in years, since high school really. So it's great, but also I would rather be on the field while everybody's not freaking out about getting a virus.
Definitely.
Yep. So you said you're born and raised in Miami, and when was the first time you picked up a baseball bat and started getting into baseball?
So I have a picture that can describe it pretty well. Hopefully I could get it into this interview later on. But yeah, I started at 3 years old in my community church t-ball league, and I've been playing ever since.
When did you know in your life that baseball was what you wanted to be, or what you wanted to do, and a baseball player is what you wanted to be?
Really, as long as I can remember. I remember first grade, we had a day in school called Career Day, and we had to draw out what we wanted to be when we grows up. Some guys drew doctors and lawyers and stuff, but I drew a baseball player, and not that guys laughed at me, but they were like, "Really? You want to be a baseball player?" I was like, "Yep." So plan hasn't changed since 20 years later.
So, did you have a favorite player growing up? Any favorite players when you were a kid growing up? Who were you looking up to as a kid?
Oh man, I loved Alex Rodriguez when he was with the Rangers and the Mariners. He was my guy. I wore number 3 my whole life unless it's unavailable. Kevin Vicuña. Yeah. So he was my guy. I loved watching him play shortstop.
Alex Rodriguez, were you a big Marlins guy since you were down there in Miami? They were kind of a new franchise, right around when you were younger. But they were a new franchise. Were you a Florida Marlins guy, or what was your favorite team growing up?
Honestly, Matt, I never really had a favorite teams when it comes to baseball. I've just been a fan of the game, really. I've had favorite players, teams I want to watch, but not really a favorite team. Although, if the Marlins make it to a World Series, I would have rooted for them. I'm not rooting for them now.
I think you got another team you got to root for right now. But
Exactly.
So you went to Coral Springs Christian Academy in Miami, and you did play shortstop and you did play outfield, and obviously you were talking about Alex Rodriguez, and I'm sure that was a very big influence on you when you were in high school playing shortstop. But what made you transition to the catcher? What made you transition to catcher out of high school?
I went to a pro workout in high school, and I was blessed enough to get invited to that. And our farm director Gil Kim was there, and Ivan Rodriguez. At that time, Gil was with the Rangers, and Ivan Rodriguez saw me throw, and he said he really wanted to see me behind the plate. So I gave it a try, caught a bullpen, almost broke my thumb 5 times. And then threw to the bases, and then my advisor at the time and other scouts told me, your spot is catcher, like you got to try it out. And hey, if someone tells me you're gonna make it to the big leagues and you got to be a catcher, I'm doing it, So that's what I did. I just completely bought in and busted my butt, worked hard, and I'm here now.
And if somebody like Pudge Rodriguez tells you got to be a catcher, you kind of got to do exactly what he says and be the catcher, right?
Exactly what I was thinking.
So there was no hesitation of like, I've never caught in my life, and just going for it.
I mean, it was a little bit frustrating because, again, I was playing for a while and I was a shortstop, and then now I'm getting hit at like 17 years old saying you got to be a catcher, and I was like, it's going to be hard, but if you guys are saying it's going to work, I'm doing it, So I just grinded, and then I'm learning little by little.
That's good, man. And then you went to you stayed kind of close to home. You went an hour south to play for the Sharks at Miami-Dade College. In your first year, you hit .344. You had the 3rd best batting average on the team, and then the next year, your second year there, you hit .396, second best team average behind another Toronto Blue Jay, Santiago Espinal. So tell us, you played with Santiago. Did you play with any other or run into any other Blue Jays guys when you were down there?
Well, I played with Alek Manoah, our recent first-round pick, since I was in elementary school. So that's pretty cool. And Santi, I was playing summer ball with him, and he told me he needed a school. I said, I can get you a school immediately. Like, this guy was going up to the plate, and they were saying the All-Star, MVP, batting average leader, everything. I was like, yeah, you're coming to Miami-Dade with me, man. And, I'm blessed enough to still be playing with the guy, and he's a great dude. He's been a lifelong friend. I'm sure he will always be.
Yeah, he was around. He was another Dunedin Blue Jay around for a half a season in 2018. Came over in the Steve Pierce trade and just immediately started working his way up there. And it was just crazy. I had no idea that you played with him in Miami. And we were actually looking at the roster, and I was like, oh, Santiago Espinal and Chris Bec on the same team. That had to be a fun year. And you guys were both and you were a doubles machine that year too. I think you had like 17 doubles too. You were just roping the doubles all over the place, man.
Yeah, big ballpark. Just got to hit a line drive and run second as fast as you can.
So then you stayed a couple of years in Miami-Dade, and then you transferred up to Maine to play for the Black Bears. What sparked that? What sparked you heading up to Maine?
Well, I took a couple visits. Maine was actually my last visit. I had a friend there from Miami playing currently there, so I went up there, talked to the coaches. I told myself I wasn't gonna commit to a big time school if I wasn't the right fit. So I did visit other, Power 5 schools, and then my last visit was Maine, which was super unexpected for me to go there. But coaching staff was great. I had three guys from my hometown there, and I like the facilities. They helped me as much as I can. Coach Durbo was a former catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He played like 8 years in pro ball. So he helped me my whole way through and helped me become a catcher. And really, it's thanks to him that I'm here now, because I don't know if I was to go to a different school if I was still going to be in the same situation.
And was it a culture shock when you went down there? You go from your kid from Miami, you go up there with 400,000 people, and then you go up to Orano, Maine, with 11,000 people. What was it like? What was it like going up there? Was it a culture shock to you, or what was it like?
I mean, thankfully, I lived with a couple. I lived with one of my lifelong friends, Brandon Vicens from Miami, and we cooked Hispanic food, the food we liked. We try to make it as much home as we can, but yeah, it was a bit of a shock when we go outside and there's 3 feet of snow outside for 2 months. So yeah, it was good, but it's a good experience, because now I know what it is to be like in the snow. I know how to play in the snow. I know how to play in the heat. I think it's pretty good.
You kind of got the best of both worlds there. You got to, that's, that was going to be another one of my questions. Is what was it? Was it a lot different playing, from coming in Miami, where you're probably you're probably sweating most of the time to putting on layers and layers of gear and going outside and playing in the snow. That had to be definitely a different thing for you.
Yeah, no, definitely different. Had something to get used to, but the good part about it is that since I'm in negative 20 degrees or negative 10 degrees for a couple months, when it gets to 40 degrees, which some people would say is cold, we were in shorts and t-shirts. So, I think it's pretty cool. I've been to the point where I've been in 100 degrees in the Florida State League, and I've been in, 10 degrees playing in Orono, Maine against, I think it's a pretty good experience. It's something that's helped me out a lot.
Especially with like the big leagues, a lot of the AA teams and AAA teams are up in the northern climate, and there's pretty much teams everywhere. New Hampshire, New Hampshire gets a little chilly, and I'm sure Buffalo does as soon as they start up. But it was that's always good. I feel like some guys need to go up and play a few games in the cold to get acclimated. And yes, I'm from Ohio originally, and we would open up the pool if it was 40 degrees after being minus 10 for a while. It felt like summertime.
Yep.
So in 2017, you led the team with a 360 batting average, won the AEC Fans Choice Player of the Year, and your team was conference finalists. You played in all 54 games in 2017. You were only one of 3 players, and also, there you go again, doubles machine. You were tied for the most doubles in the AEC, and then this is a great one that we pulled up. In 2018, you led the team with a 315 batting average, all conference honors again, and you had a 3 home run game against UMass. Can you take us back to May 2nd, 2018, 24-5? You hit all 3 of the home runs on the first pitch. You went 5 for 6 with a double, 3 home runs, a stolen base, 5 RBIs, and 4 runs. You're triple shy of the cycle, but the 3 home runs really made up for it. What was working for that game? That game must have been a fun one to play.
Oh, that game was. I'm gonna remember that game for the rest of my life. Quite frankly, I don't know what I was doing. I wish I can tell you what I was doing, but it just seemed to, like, every time I'd hit the ball, it'd go in the air and either be a double or a homer. So I don't know what I was doing again, but yeah, first AB, first pitch fastball in, I hit it out to right. I don't know how I did it. Second AB, fastball up. I hit it out to left. And then third AB, this is interesting. Shout out to Danny Casals on this one, a lifelong friend from Maine. As I'm walking up to the plate, he's on deck, and he goes, Beck. And I turn around, he goes, you better sit on curveball. And I never sit on curveball. I'm always looking fastball. So as the pitcher's coming, I'm deciding whether I'm going to hit fastball or curveball. And as soon as the pitcher picks up his leg, I'm just completely sold out on curveball. He throws it, there it is, and I hit it out to center. So, it was unbelievable. I was unconscious. After the game, I didn't really know what I just did, but, it was a blessing, and I think my hard work paid off on that one.
Yeah, it did, and you know what? Funny you bring up Danny Castles, and here's another guy for you, Hernan Sardinas. Is that how you say it? So you guys went back to back on your last, back to back. That had to be a great feeling, and I'm sure the dugout was just absolutely erupting. When I saw that, I was like, I gotta ask him about the 3 home run game at 24-5 against UMass, and that's probably, like you said, a day you'll never ever forget in your entire baseball career.
Yeah. Shout out to Danny Casals.
Was there a Blue Jay scout at that one?
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there was, but we had a lot of scouts at our games. Shortstop was really, really good.
What was that? What was the draft process like for you, going from Maine to getting drafted? Did you know that you were going to get drafted by the Blue Jays? Was there any talk there?
I mean, I didn't. I had talked to several teams, but like the draft process for me was a bit frustrating because I was able to get drafted out of Miami-Dade, hit 390. Obviously, wasn't enough somehow. Junior year, hit 360, didn't happen. And then my senior year, I guess it took power numbers to get me drafted, which, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm still blessed because there are still a lot of guys who don't even receive this opportunity. So, it's okay. I think it was meant to be. I don't think I was ready prior to being drafted. I think that being drafted at that point in my career was a big turning point and allowed me to learn a lot more.
Anybody that knows you knows that you probably know every single person you've ever met. I don't know how it happens, but you do. How nice is it to have, obviously Alec Manoah is newer to the organization, but how nice is it to have guys like Santiago and Alec to kind of make that transition to being a Blue Jay or helping them as well?
I mean, it's awesome because it has to be a culture thing, I guess this is the type of culture the Toronto Blue Jays want to represent, and I can see it because, we keep bringing in good guys like Santi and Alec, and I'm just glad to be around them. And, we have a lot of guys with the Blue Jays that, we're able to lean back on, and they help each other out. We help each other out. We're always talking to each other, and that's just the type of guys we want in our organization, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Everybody talks about it when they come in the clubhouse in Dunedin, but can you describe Vancouver to people that don't know? It's our rookie level stop, and people just have highest of praises for it. What was your experience like?
Yeah, so when I was in Vancouver, I thought that was the big leagues, I really owned it. I said, this is my big leagues. And, sold out crowds every day. Fans were awesome. Interviews right outside the stadium with the headset. It was, it was really big. It was really big for me. I was coming from Orono, Maine. With, there's not much there. It's just a group of guys, group of grinders is what it is. And I went to Vancouver and I felt like a superstar. And, it was great. We had a great group of guys. Really good team, a lot of talent. It was fun. It was fun.
What was it like making that jump from you skip Lansing, you come straight to Dunedin? Was there any intimidation, or were you kind of just like you're ready for this? You knew that you could play here?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, I was with a different group of guys. A group of guys that have been in pro ball for 2-3 years. I was only in pro ball for 1 year, so I had a lot of learning to do. And at the beginning of the season, I think it was that moment for me, which was expected for me to learn this game more. And then, I was blessed to be with a great group of guys in high A Dunedin, as you could tell by our record, and of how, just the camaraderie this team was. Everybody picked each other up. It was awesome, and it was more of a jump to learning the game rather than skill, learning how to play it. It's a lot cleaner game as you go up in levels, and that's just something that you got to be accustomed to, and I think that was big.
What was it, your fourth year of catching all time?
This will be my fourth.
So yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I remember it vividly our very first game in Dunedin, we played at Clearwater, and we had I did an interview with Nate Pearson after the game, and I asked about the team in general, and you could touch on it as well, but he said I believe the quote generally was like, there's some dudes on this team. Like, he knew this team could play. Like, was it at the beginning of the season, did you know we were going to be good?
I mean, it was pretty obvious how good we were going to be, but I think it was more than just a skill on this team. Coaching staff, Cesar Martin handles, it's a tight ship. All he's asked for is work hard and be on time, and it goes a long ways. When guys work hard and they're on time, you get your work in, you become a better player. And the discipline this team had, camaraderie it had, it was great. That's really what it was, and you can tell when we brought up guys from rookie ball, where they're supposed to be there for a week stint, and Cesar would put them to play, and they perform. It was just how this team was built. That it didn't demand excellence, but since there were so many people doing good and building good things, it's just, it's contagious. That's what this team had.
Do you think at all having to play at Jack Russell off-site, and basically every game's a road game, and kind of just a different situation, did it bring you guys even closer than maybe if you played at home every game or half the games?
I mean, our team we were really strong mentally just because we had to be. We were on the bus every single game, and we knew what we were walking into prior to the season. So we just made the most out of it, and it doesn't matter if we're playing a Sandlot or if we're playing in Toronto. We're coming out there to win, and that's just how this team was. And we really took the most out of it, even if it had 4 fans in the dugout. It was okay.
There obviously was, if the season didn't get cut short and we had that playoffs, who do you think's winning the playoffs in the Florida State League?
I don't see a team beating us more than one time. Maybe they'll get us once. They're not getting us more than that. I don't have any sort of doubt in my head or heart that we were winning it. But, got to deal with it.
Do you have a favorite memory from playing in Dunedin this past year?
Favorite memory? Yeah, I would say it was, I think it was Noda hit a walk-off grand slam, Oppo. And I would, it was the greatest moment for me because, this is when I just started mixing in with the guys. I just finally started getting in with them because I didn't really know guys to a personal level yet, because I was with a new group. But I had just felt, I was feeling the team, and I was feeling Noda, and I was like, he's going to hit a home run right here, and we're going to win. And as soon as he hit it, I'm like, there it is, and I'm like, that's why we are so good, because, no, I think he struck out 3 times before that. Sorry, Noda, for putting you out there, bro. And then, he just came to ends the game with a grand slam, Oppo, and I'm like, that's why we're so good, because no matter what, you cannot count this team out. You can't. And it was awesome.
I vaguely remember that game. I think the pitcher had gotten wild, a few pitches before to load the bases, and then he walked Colin, and then Colin basically said, "This is you. Take it away." We got a question from John from Twitter, and kind of segues in. Do you have a pitcher that you enjoy working with the most, catching from, and why?
I mean, honestly, our whole staff was really good. You know, I've learned more from my staff than anything else because, you know, these guys were playing a lot longer than me. But favorite guy to catch, they're all my favorites, but Turner Larkins.
Huh.
Just because I can this. It doesn't even matter. He can throw it all, you know. It's like pretty much playing a video game. You can throw a cutter this way, a cutter that way, sinker this way, curveball this way. And he's around the zone a lot, you know. Al Geyer, same guy, really cerebral pitcher. You got to really be locked in. If you're in the mood for swings and misses, Joey Murray. He's going to throw fastballs by guys. I mean, Nate was super, super fun. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite. Can't tell you a favorite, but we got a lot of guys in these organizations that's really, really fun to catch.
How much does it help for you being able to speak Spanish and English when working with pitchers like Emerson Jimenez last year is one of those guys? Does it help a lot?
I mean, yeah, it helps a lot because, you know, as a catcher, you want to get to know the pitchers on a personal level just because you want to feel them when they're up there, you know. They're not just pitchers up there throwing the ball. You want to know how they're feeling, how they are as a person, what they're going through, you know, just to be able to help them out whatever situation they're in. So, yeah, it's awesome. I'm able to be, you know, a friend to these guys more than just a teammate. I'm here to be a brother for these guys and Latins and Americans, you know. You're all welcome. I'm here for all you guys, you know.
Did you guys have, or did you specifically have a favorite clubhouse activity that you enjoy playing?
Yeah, I hated losing at ping pong, so I don't like that. Favorite clubhouse activity was bothering Alejandro Kirk, my brother.
Not playing cards with Nick Allgaier?
No, because that's just, I got to think too much. Allgaier is a really cerebral person. I know I said it. So when you're playing cards with him, you got to be thinking, and sometimes when I'm in the clubhouse, I just want to turn my brain off, and I'll turn it back on 30 minutes before the game and get locked in for it.
And I saw DJ Chino was spinning the records in the clubhouse a few times before the game.
Oh yeah, DJ Chino.
That had to be a big boost of morale too.
Oh man, him and Obeso, they were the party of the clubhouse. Whenever it was 1 o'clock games that we were in the clubhouse at 10 a.m. and it was 100 degrees outside, they somehow just made it a great time, made it a great environment. It was. Those guys, shout out DJ Chino and DJ Obeso.
What was it, how, having such a close team, was it easy transitioning guys in like Simeon and Kyle Johnston? Did you see them kind of just fitting right in with everything that was going on? Especially?
Yeah. Sim and Kyle, they're great as soon as we got them in from the trade, and we were a bit hurt. We lost Kyle Stevenson, but the camaraderie on this team, it was a family already, and once you step in there, you can feel it. You have no other option whether to join it, because it's just it's a great thing to be a part of. And Simeon and Kyle, as soon as they jumped in, they fit right in, and it was a great time. I'm glad those guys are a part of our family now.
Do you have one thing that you're working on improving from this past year going into this upcoming season?
I mean, I'm really working on everything, but my main focus right now is learning this advanced receiving, which we're being taught now. As you can see, how the catching position is being evolved in the big leagues. So it's more learning that, perfecting it as much as I can in order to be successful doing it in the season.
And put you on the spot a little bit. You can name more than one player, but do you have a player in mind that you think is the best player you've ever played with?
Oh man, best player I ever played with on a team, or seen or played against?
On a team.
I mean, I got a chance to play with Vladdy and Bo. That was pretty cool. They came and made High look like T-ball really, but yeah, they were fun to play with. I'd say Vladdy or Bo. Those are I played with a couple big leaguers. Actually, I played with a lot of big leaguers, but Vladdy or Bo last season was really impressive.
What's it like having a guy, obviously since we're in Dunedin and the complex is so close, what's it like having guys come in, whether it be, I know Ryan Barucki made an appearance, or just other guys coming in on rehab? How much are you guys able to pick their brains while they're in town?
Yeah, so I ask as many questions as I can, especially to these guys, and it's a great experience because they've played at baseball at a higher level, so they can tell you pretty much what to expect. They can tell you how to prepare for it, and how to deal with failure, because at the end of the day, this game you're going to fail a lot, and how you deal with that failure is really the outcome of your career. And these guys have been through the loops, and they'll sure teach you a lot.
Yep, so explain to us a little bit, maybe for some people who aren't very baseball savvy, because I get the question all the time, and I have to kind of tell people what's going on over at the complex. But let us know, what are some of the minor leaguers doing at the complex during spring training to get ready for the season while the games are going on over at the stadium? What are you guys doing to get ready for the season?
Yeah, so typically, we get in there at around 6:15. Have breakfast 6:30 a.m. and then we'll have an all-player meeting around 7:45. After 7:45, we'll have like a little downtime in order to do individual preps, so we can go into the gym, get our extra stretching in, whatever it is that you need to get ready in order to go outside. Then we'll go outside like at 9:30, 9:15, team stretch. Then we go into whatever activity is that we're going to do, whether it's batting practice or live BPs or whatever it is. Come back in, have some lunch, go back out around 1 o'clock, and have our sim game. Or if we don't have a sim game, we could just take it home. So that's typically what it is. It's a day of, all baseball. There's not really any downtime. We're just grinding it out, either on the field or in meetings, trying to figure out a way how to get better.
We got another question from Dave from Twitter asks, if baseball didn't exist, what would Chris Bec be doing right now?
Oh, God, Dave. Honestly, I'm really into psychology. That was my major in college. I'd probably go to med school. I don't have much left to get my bachelor's in it, so I'd probably go to med school and be a psychologist.
Psychologist. Yeah, you got to know the psychology behind some of these guys. You're talking about Nick Allgaier and everything. You got to know the psychology for where some of these guys are.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, you know what? We want to say thank you, Chris, so much for taking some time to sit down with us and have a little quarantine baseball chat here on Jays Talkin. And we were really excited to have you, your first guest on the show. So we thought we'd start with you, Chris. And I just wanted to say, you'll never find a more stand-up guy than Chris. Chris came on a couple of reading visits with us last year, and him and Samad really, I get messages from that teacher afterwards saying how great you guys were and how awesome you guys were in the community, all you guys this year, and especially that particular visit with you and Samad was really great. You guys were answering great questions, and just you brought up the you're going to have some of those failures, and you really reiterated to the kids to don't let the failures make you who you are, and you just you gotta get over them and step over them and keep going to the other side, man.
Yeah, that's how it is.
But we really appreciate you, Chris. Thank you so much for taking some time to sit down with us today. We really hope that you stay safe, and we really hope to see you guys back on the field here very soon. And we really just want to say to everybody, keep an eye out for more Jays Talkin interviews. And thanks again, Chris. Thank you again, Andrew. And we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt. Andrew. To all the fans out there, stay safe. We'll be back soon, and to all my brothers, I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thanks, Chris.